Hello everyone, good morning. Welcome back. This is On Location here, and I am here today at Gilmore Ponds MetroPark. Now, I'm kind of recording this in the future a little bit because you're going to be seeing a whole lot of footage of my morning here. I've been here for about a good solid about 4 hours maybe or so, and it's been very nice. It's been very great. Got about 2 life birds for the morning here for this visit, which is really, really cool. And one of them was just like immediately upon entering, kind of as expected, as I was hoping for at least. So it was very cool to get that. But it's been a very productive morning overall, so I didn't really record any voiceover or any speaking bits like this, simply because there's a lot of other birders out, of course, for this location. It's a very great bird spot and wildlife in general. But I just really wanted to focus on getting some photographs and trying to make those the best I can, of course. But I'm just going to go through the kind of the MetroPark here, some details about it a little bit more like I normally do. And then I'm going to break down some of the photographs and the kind of the points of interest, I guess, that you could find along Gilmore Ponds here. So overall, it has about 2 different entrances here. There's the south and the west entrance, at those ends of the MetroPark. I typically park at the south entrance. That gets you a much more immediate access to the south ponds, and you can even see a heron and egret rookery and cormorants as well, which is really nice. And it's a very simply kind of laid out MetroPark. There's a 2-mile wetlands trail loop that basically goes around the entire park, and it shows you all the different ponds and the marshes there. It's about 2 miles, like I said, and wraps around the perimeter of the whole entire MetroPark, which is nice. And so for habitats, there's quite a few ponds, as the name would suggest, of course. There's the much larger cattail marsh that's central to the entire MetroPark here. There's a smaller kingfisher pond, which I typically see people fish at. And then there's the South Pond, which is where almost year after year, really, there's been nesting yellow-crowned night herons, which fortunately is the lifer I kind of alluded to a little bit ago, is the bird I saw here early this morning, which is really nice. And other than that, other habitats, swamps, wetlands, there's a little section that is dubbed the Smartweed Flats. Smartweed, of course, the green stuff that comes out of water, especially still water. And there's a lot of algae blooming in this time of year in late summer here that you can find here at this MetroPark. So it's just very much awash in this green kind of like layer of gunk on the top layer of the water. So for the rest of the trail there, there is it's called Highlands Trace, and there is the Miami to Erie Canal Trail that go through this MetroPark as well. There is a small boardwalk that sometimes gets flooded over. It kind of has a bouncy kind of like suspension, I guess you could say, to it at least. There's a very large wildlife observation tower that is present here as well. And there's at least 2 raised wildlife lookout, kind of like observation decks that are also here at different points along the larger pond or the marsh. Like I said, there's yellow-crowned night herons, which is a bird of special interest for a lot of birders. It's not super common to nest around this area, but they make this place home, and they nest kind of deep within the thickets of the South Pond here. There's also been nesting bald eagles, and like I said, the rookery of herons and egrets and cormorants, which you can still see the remnants of the nest from this past breeding season, but they're unfortunately, most of them have gone away, and they're not actually occupying the nest at least. So we didn't really get to see that much today. But other than that, it's just a really great place for bird watching. It's a nice, simple layout, pretty easy. And most of it, if not all, pretty close to all, I'll say, is actually paved, which is really, really nice. And so it just makes a nice, easy spot that's relatively flat to bird watch, of course. Now, for the birds, like I said, I've gotten a whopping 60 species for this visit here. This is very great. That's a pretty average number, I would say, in terms of the average that people get when they go visit here at Gilmore, with some moderate experience and all that. But a lot of those were heard, like in the early morning when I was looking at the night heron in particular, and actually getting some photographs of it, as you'll see. I did hear a barred owl call, doing the who cooks for you call, of course. And, as well as many other birds, tons of hummingbirds here this time of year. We're starting to get some of the migrant warblers and a few of the shorebirds. And the other lifer that I got was actually a Baird sandpiper. That one was a little bit more of a cheap shot in terms of I did not get any photographs of it, and Maryland Sound ID merely picked it up. But it is a typical bird you see in migration, for shorebirds in particular, given this time of year. And people have reported it, not super recently, but so far this year, a couple times, I believe, here at Gilmore Ponds. And so that was really nice to get that. Had a really great encounter, speaking of herons, right after the night heron. Sorry, I'm looking at my camera as I go through everything, so just bear with me. But I had a green heron just right off of the South Pond overlook deck. This is right after the night heron, so I was already kind of like riding that high a little bit. Very excited for what that offered, in the way of just being a life bird, of course, at the very least, but also the images. And then I got this green heron that was just like probably a few feet off of the overlook here at the South Pond. Got some images and video of it fishing and stuff, and it was just being very still and calm. I could tell it was trying to like fish for its like morning breakfast or whatever, which is pretty cool just to see it kind of catch a fish and kind of like splash around while it's still in its beak, being held in its beak. And it looked like it was trying to like wipe off the algae or whatever. So it's kind of fascinating to see that behavior and capture that on camera. So really cool to get some up close images of green herons. They're probably my favorite heron overall. I mean, they're just really cool and super tiny. I mean, it's amazing. This reminded me, I see them every now and then, of course, in the summer, but it was really cool to see it this up close. And just, I even took a selfie of me with it, and I just thought it was really cool. So as I made my way around the rest of the main pond here, the biggest one, that is, just checking out some of the egrets and stuff that are coming around. Hearing lots of birds, of course, different ones. I'll include the checklist, of course, for this visit here in the video, so you can kind of see more of the details and numbers and all that stuff. Got some great images of close-up of a front-lit gray catbird, this was a little bit later in the morning, but still great to get the opportunity. There's also some bald eagles. I saw a pair of them way out in the distance. They were across the back end of it, the north end, that is. There's like a railroad track, and sometimes trains pass through and block the view, but as actually happened with this visit. But it's a nice way to kind of like if you want to bring a spotting scope out to the here and just view the distant wildlife and all that stuff. Now, I didn't do it for this particular visit. I didn't bring a spotting scope all the way out there, just because I already had enough gear with me and a tripod and gimbal and stuff like that for my telephoto camera here and lens. But it's always nice to check out that just to kind of see what's out there and everything. I've seen in the past a huge raft of coots, American coots, and this visit was no exception. Saw a lot of the pair of bald eagles. I saw a lot of, I think, mallard ducks, it looked like. Just kind of some brown ducks that are way off in the distance. And then about 4 mute swans that are kind of out in the more of the thick part of the water in the marsh there. So definitely got that stuff. Nice to see all that, of course. And some bald eagles are always a crowd favorite, So people are always asking about if you've seen them, and trust me, they did for this visit as well. And then, just kind of wrapped around the entire thing, did the wetlands trail and kind of the grassier, more grown parts of the trail there. Checked out, like I said, the wildlife blind, the observation tower, that is. Checked out the other different deck overlooks and all that stuff. Found a kind of nice mud flat, but I was staring into the light, in the direction of the light, and the sun was already pretty high up, so saw a couple shorebirds, but they all turned out to be killdeer, so didn't really get anything great or crazy in the way of that. But now that the sun's fully out, it's kind of late morning here. It's started out really, really cool this morning in temperatures, and now it's like really hot So we're kind of like swinging back and forth wildly throughout the day here and the night, in early morning and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, got some great images, like I said, of the two herons, the yellow-crowned night heron, the green heron, the great catbird. Those are probably the three standout images that I'll, of course, edit and include in the video here. But man, overall, it's just a very cool visit. It's really great to get this experience and to share two life birds with you guys, and got some images to boot. So that's honestly, all in all, it's pretty great. So I think that's it for the video here. Hope you enjoyed all the B-roll, all the footage and information, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. So thanks so much for watching, everyone. This has been Gilmore Ponds MetroPark, and until next time, make sure to get out here. Thank you.